प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री भागवत गीता की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणरघुनाथांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वपाणि सदोभाव लोक गोपाल नंदनम पार्थवत्त सुधीर्भूता दुग्धं गीतामृतं हर। एकं सहस्रं देवकी पुत्र गीता एको देवो देवकी पुत्रेव कर्मप्येकं देवकी पुत्र सेवा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 So we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 7, text number 26. वेदाहं समितेतानि वेदाहं समितेतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन मां तु वेद न कश्चन। वेदाहं समितेतानि वेदाहं समितेतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन मां तु वेद न कश्चन। वेदाहं समितेतानि वेदाहं समितेतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि भविष्यानि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वेदाहं समितेतानि
वर्तमानानि चार्जुन
वर्तमानानि चार्जुन
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
मां तु वेद न कश्चन
मां तु वेद न कश्चन।
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वेदाहं समितेतानि
वर्तमानानि चार्जुन
वर्तमानानि चार्जुन
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
मां तु वेद न कश्चन
मां तु वेद न कश्चन। Word to word meaning. Veda, no. I, samtitani, completely past. Vartamanani, present. Cha, and. Arjuna, Arjuna. Bhavishyani, future. Cha, also. Bhutani, all living beings, all living entities. Mam, me.
may,
to,
to,
but,
but,
Veda,
Veda,
knows,
knows,
no,
not,
not, question,
question,
anyone.
anyone.
Translation in purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Sai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada.
O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that's happening in the future, present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. Here is a question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were Maya, material, as the impersonalists consider him to be, then like the living entity, he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can be predicted the outcome of the present life. Therefore, he cannot know that what is happening in the past, present, and future. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, he cannot know past, present, and future. Unlike the ordinary human being, Lord Krishna clearly said that he completely knows what happened in the past, what is happening in the present, and what will happen in the future. In the 4th chapter, we have seen that Lord Krishna remembers instructing Virasul, the sun god, millions of years ago. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living entity's heart as a super soul. And despite his presence in every living entity as super soul, and his presence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the less intelligent, even if able to realize impersonal Brahman, cannot realize Sri Krishna as Supreme Person. Certainly, the transcendental body of Sri Krishna is not perishable. He is just like the sun, and the Maya is like cloud. In the material world, we can see that there is sun and there are clouds and different stars and planets. The clouds may cover all this in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent to our limited vision. The sun, moon, and stars are not actually covered. Similarly, Maya cannot cover Supreme Law. By the internal potency, he is not manifest to the less intelligent class of men. As it is stated in the 3rd verse of this chapter, out of millions and millions of men, some try to become perfect in his human-like form of life, and out of thousands and thousands of such perfected men, hardly one can understand what Lord Krishna is. Even if one is perfected by realization of impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, he cannot possibly understand Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, without being in Krishna consciousness. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Charo Swami Tinari Snipta Cheta Suttanama Bhagminan Charasabha Prabhupada Katapana Nomi Bhakti Charo. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinari Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharya Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Devsatarina Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
So here is Lord Krishna mentioning about his knowledge of past, present, and future. And there is a very nice connecting story with this verse in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhagavad Goswami mentions about the story that material world, the living entities in this material world are always in distress condition, and very often in the distress condition they try to find out what their future is. Because present they are just seeing it, past nothing much can be done about that, is past. But they worry about future, so they try to approach some astrologer or palmist to find out the future. Very often people try to approach and try to get some information about the future. So Kaviraj Goswami mentions about astrologer approaching a miserable person who was in a very miserable state, and he asked, why you are so miserable and why you are in this unhappy state? Your father had a great wealth. Somehow or the other, unfortunately, he left his body somewhere else. So he did not let you know where his old wealth or treasure is. because of that maybe you are miserable, then Pami is asking me, he is asking the Pami that, how can I get my hand on that wealth or the treasure? Astrologer giving him some instructions about this thing. Kaviraj Goswami mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita about this astrologer, about the person. We are all those persons who are always in the stressed condition, looking for our bright future, looking to find out what will be your future, and try to figure out if somehow or the other, with the help of palmist or with the help of astrologer, or whatever help we can get it to know this thing. So we are in the same condition. Material existence means always remember there is a condition of distress. Anxiety and distress is always there in the material life. And everybody is in that condition and they try to find out what's my situation, what is going to happen in the future. So similarly, the astrologer is telling him, yes, your father has great wealth. He left it and he's giving him some directions. Similarly, in our life, we are always in miserable state. Vedas, Vedic literature and all this kind of literature give us some directions about how to become free from these miserable conditions. Miserable condition exists because of our threefold miseries and because of so many other things. We are always being bombarded by three kinds of miseries: adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidaivik. Some misery inflicted upon us by our own mind and body. Some misery inflicted us on by other living entities. And some misery is inflicted on us by some supernatural powers. So we are always in this condition, being inflicted by this kind of different kind of problems of adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidaivik. On the top of that, we are also so much bound in material conditioning that we remain always worried about this material conditioning. So astrologer is telling me, yes, I can tell you where to look for the treasure. We are the living entities. Krishna or his representative is giving us the idea about this treasure, where this treasure is to us. The story is directly to us. It's a parable. In Christianity, there are many parables, very instructive stories which give us some idea about our life, and this parable is the instructive story. So he's telling that if you go and there are different directions, your wealth can be in any direction, we don't know which direction is that. But he's telling you that if you go in southern direction and try to dig there, you will not get the wealth, but you will get the wasps and drones, and they will bite you. He's giving the information about if you dig on this southern side, you will not be able to get anything. Not your hand or the treasure or the wealth that you are looking for. He is telling that if you try to dig on the northern side, you will be bombarded. You will have some problems there also. And he said, you will have a problem of there, some kind of a problem where you cannot find the wealth there also. And this problem is mentioning about a big kind of snake can bite you. A snake will be existing there. A ghost will be existing there. Different kind of problems he is mentioning. He said the ghost will come and he will not let you touch any of this wealth there if you try to dig on the northern side. If you try to dig on the western side, you will have a problem of finding some that will not let you touch on the wealth. And that problem will, he said, that it will be a big snake and that will bite you and that will devour you. If you try to dig on the eastern side, there is a good possibility that you will get your hand on the treasure by digging on the eastern side. Just by little digging, you will get the treasure on the eastern side. Mentioning this point is trying to point out that by digging on the southern side, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj explains in great detail about all these four different sides and how these sides are affecting our life. He said by digging on the southern side, you will be facing drones and wasps and they will bite you. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj mentioned that this digging is nothing but a fruity activity. You are busy with karma kan. Vedanta Sutras or Vedic knowledge gives us the idea about different paths of self-realization. Karma kan, Gyan kan, Siddhi kan, like those. So it's mentioning, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj mentioned that this digging on the other side will be nothing but a karma kan. Karma kan means you will be getting out if you have fruitive activities. You will be doing some activities and you are expecting some result from those activities. And your desires will continue to grow. You will never become free from desire. As long as you have these material desires, as long as they are not, you don't become free from this material desire, you will be stuck in this material life of birth, old age, disease, and death, because your material desires still exist. So the fruitive activities will bring you for more and more material desire, and you will never finish up this desire. You will never come to a state of desirelessness. That is what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati will explain. Explaining about this northern side where this big ghost will haunt you and will never let you touch any of those treasures. So he's telling the ghost, this karma, this Gyan Kan is nothing but becoming one or becoming something like that I will try to become one with the Lord. I try to merge into the existence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this will be the situation. And there he said that you will not be able to do anything because ultimately you will have still the desire to live in the material. Even if you have the desire to merge into Supreme Personality of Godhead, after some time you have to come back in the material realm and again begin your material life. So that process, or that is also like that. Then he's mentioning about the big snake will come around you and bite you and will not let you touch any of this wealth. And then he's telling that is the Siddhikan, where Siddhikan, one wants to be getting into this kind of problem where he will not be able to touch the great wealth. And finally he's telling about this eastern side. If you dig on the eastern side, that's where the wealth is. Eastern side is nothing but, he said, is represented by the Bhakti Yoga. So that's what he's trying to point out. That ultimately Bhakti Yoga is the one that is going to make you free from this miserable material condition, miserable state of this material life. So that's what you must take up. So Vedas also inform about this thing. The astrologer informed this person about this knowledge. He gave some knowledge. But mere knowledge does not mean anything that he must have some direction to do it. And that's why he gave the different direction. That go in dig in different places and you will come to a proper place. So Vedas gives the knowledge about this thing. But the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, gives the proper direction how to get this bhakti. That's what he's trying to say. How to get to the point of bhakti. And bhakti is the one only that's going to make you free from this distressful condition of material life. That's what he's trying to say. In this Vedic knowledge, it is mentioned that bhakti is nothing but the abhideya. Jiva Goswami mentioned about different parts of the bhakti, Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. And Vedic knowledge gives us the idea about establishing our lost or forgotten relationship. Unfortunately, in this material world, we have forgotten our relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedic knowledge gives the idea about establishing that knowledge. Spiritual master comes and establishes our relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. He establishes our relationship, Sambandha, with Krishna. And then comes the important part of Abhideya. Abhideya means actual actions on the path of bhakti. Actual actions to achieve something. Kaviraj Goswami mentioned about this thing that Abhideya Nama Bhakti. Abhideya, actually the functional part of this devotional service is called bhakti. Abhideya Nama Bhakti, Prema Prayojan. The goal of this Abhideya, goal of this devotional service, goal of this functional part of this devotional service is a law of Godhead, Prema Prayojan. Purusartha Shiromani, Prema Mahadhan. Greatest wealth that astrologer was talking about is this greatest wealth. Prema Prayojan and Prema Mahadhan. Purusartha Shiromani. Most interesting activity one should be performing is this Abhideya. That's why it mentioned. Abhideya Nama Bhakti Prema Prayojan, Purusartha Shiromani, Prema Mahadhan. And he said, Bhakti is the Abhideya part of this Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. And Prayojan is the goal, and ultimately we come to the greatest wealth that we are looking for. Greatest wealth is the Prema Mahadhan, the love of Godhead. All the other treasures in the material world, they are always temporary in nature. They will not last long for time. They have some temporariness, but this Prema Prayojan, this Prema Mahavel, the Prema Mahavel is the one that is going to stay eternally with us. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also mentioned that doing bhakti means opening some eternal account with Supreme Personality of Godhead. And whatever little you have done, that remains all the time eternally with you. So somehow or the other, we must take up the process of bhakti. And bhakti is the part that is mentioned by Yoga Goswami as the devotional service. Devotional service is the one that one must be performing. And that part is the extent of that. It is also mentioned, even in Christianity is mentioned that Jesus Christ when he was not seen for some 40 days during his time, and at that time he went to east. It is mentioned that he was in Jagannath Puri for some time at that time. So east is considered to be a part of bhakti, and that's why even the astrologer mentioned about digging in the east, and that's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj also mentioned about the bhakti in the eastern section of the world, and that's why bhakti is coming. So bhakti is devotional service, the one that one must be performing, and that will make us free, as I mentioned, from this distasteful condition of the material. So it is for us, this whole story, even though it is mentioned by astrologer to a one materially poverty-stricken person, but we are all in the same condition. We are always in distress condition, always in anxiety and distress condition, and that condition can be made only free by performance of the devotional service. Devotional service is the real part that one must be engaging himself. And devotional service, as mentioned in different scriptures, even in Srimad Bhagavatam, even in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that one must be performing, one must be taking up the devotional service. Devotional service is the main part of our material activity, or material, even though it seems to be material activity, but when we perform it for Krishna, it becomes a spiritual activity. Material activities are there, but when we do it for ourselves, it remains material. When we do the same activity for Krishna, it becomes spiritual. So it's a spiritualized activity. One must be spiritualizing his activities day by every day, and that spiritualization will bring us slowly and slowly to Krishna, and ultimately we can realize our relationship. Our lost relationship can be revived by this path of bhakti. And once that lost relationship revived, then we can move forward with this Abhiday part and the Prayojan part. So in Shastras it is mentioned that Abhiday is the one part one should be looking after, and that part of bhakti we are always performing in Krishna consciousness. That will bring us to our fully Krishna conscious level, and once we realize our Krishna consciousness fully, then we will be really on the path of our Prem Prayojan, of the goal of the Prem Prayojan. So this is this verse Krishna also mentioned very clearly about impersonalism, personalism, many things. But it is mentioned that here very clearly that Krishna knows about past, present and future. Krishna's representative also can guide us for our future, past, present and future. And we should depend on him. That's one has to depend on Krishna or Krishna's dependence for this present, past, present and future. Because he knows. It is mentioned here very clearly that Krishna is present, Krishna is aware of all those things. And unfortunately we are not aware of all those future things. So in order to understand this part, Kaviraj Goswami gave the nice example of the astrologer and the living entity. And that is nothing but that is for us. We are all living entities in distressful condition, always being materially situated, materially always worried about many things and many problems. But then this distress condition can be released or relieved only by performance of devotional service. That's what this verse tries to say, and that is what Kaviraj Goswami also tries to say in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In short, devotional service, Abhiday part is the one that is being mentioned in the important aspect of the devotion, important aspect of human life, and that is called the Purushartha Shiromani. That is the best, most important, interesting activity living entities should be performing. We are always performing some activities, but the most interesting activity in our life should be this devotional service. So that is what we try to come to a point of devotional service. Ramchandra Prabhu also mentioned that last Wednesday being Shivratri, we should try to glorify Lord Shiva in one or the other way. Lord Shiva being greatest Vaishnava should be respected as greatest Vaishnava. There is no difference between Lord Shiva and Vishnu in one sense, and there is a difference between the two of them also at the same time. It's not that Lord Vishnu, when wants to do something in contact with Maya, he does through the energy, he does through the medium of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva Srimad Bhagavatam mentioned very clearly, Vaishnavanam Yathasam. Srimad Bhagavatam mentions about 4 topmost things. In that, Lord Shiva is one of them mentioned. Nimna Ganati Yatha Ganga and Vaishnavanam Yathasam. Purananam Idam Tatha. It's mentioned that all the rivers coming down from Himalayas, Ganga is the topmost. Of all the devatas, Vishnu is the topmost. Of all the Vaishnavas, Lord Shiva is the topmost. And of all the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam. There are so many Puranas. Puranas in the mode of goodness, Puranas in the mode of passion, Puranas in the mode of ignorance. 6 each. So 18 Puranas are there. On the top of that, there are many Vedic literature. But of all those Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is supposed to be the topmost Purana. And Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. Lord Shiva's position is a very unique position. One must remember that Lord Shiva is neither considered a living being nor considered to be a spiritual identity. His position is very unique. He has a unique position. His dham, his residential place is also very unique. Only with the mercy of Lord Shiva, only with the mercy of Sadashiva, one can enter into the spiritual planets. It is the boundary between the material realm and the spiritual realm. Sadashiva dham is just as soon as the material realm is finished, beginning of spiritual dham starts, and there where Sadashiva dham is there. So that Sadashiva dham, Sadashiva is always protecting spiritual planets. If you go to many pilgrimage places, you will see Lord Shiva's number, Lord Shiva's temple outside most of the time, outside most of the town, and Lord Shiva is protecting the dham all the time. So Lord Shiva is a protector, and Lord Shiva is only by the mercy of Lord Shiva only you can enter. Very often people misunderstand Lord Shiva's position. Very often people try to criticize Lord Shiva to be a demigod, to be this, to be that. One must be very careful about criticizing Lord Shiva because his position is in the material realm. At the same time, he is above Lord Brahma. Brahma is a creator. Lord Shiva and these 3 Guna avatars. Lord Shiva is none different. He is one of the avatars of Krishna. Guna avatars. There are different avatars mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and one of them is Guna avatar, which are the avatars of quality. Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. And Brahma to be in the mode of passion, ignorance, Lord Shiva, and Sattva, Sattvic Gun, Lord Vishnu. So Shiva is there also, but it is a Guna avatar, avatar of Lord Sri Krishna. And Brahma Samhita mentions about Lord Shiva's position. The Lord Shiva is none different than Vishnu. In one sense, constitutionally both of them are same, like milk and yogurt. Milk, when you put some acid in the milk, it turns into yogurt. But constitutionally both of them are same. Very little, there is no difference practically in milk and yogurt. At the same time, you cannot say the yogurt can be used in place of milk. It's different. So it is same, it is not same. That's called it is the Achintya Veda philosophy. In one sense, it is same, it is that, and it is also not that. Achintya Veda philosophy means it is that, at the same time it is not that. So Lord Shiva is Vishnu, at the same time he is not Vishnu. One must understand this very clearly, that the position of Lord Shiva is very unique, and from that one must understand Lord Shiva possesses most of the qualities. If you see Vishnu Tattvas and Jiva Tattvas and Shiva Tattva, Jiva Tattva of course possess some qualities. 64 qualities are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Sri Krishna possesses all those 64 qualities in full. Vishnu Tattvas, Narayana, Vishnu, so many different Vishnu incarnation, they possess 60 qualities of those 64. Shiva Tattva comes little lower than that, possesses 58 qualities. And Brahma, in the living entity, we can possess 55 qualities from there. We don't have Brahma definitely possesses 55 qualities. So you can see the position of Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu and Krishna. So that is the position of Lord Shiva. So one must remember Lord Shiva from that viewpoint, respect Lord Shiva from that viewpoint. And Lord Shiva is always meditating on Sankarsana, Balram, expansion of Sankarsana. But Sankarsana is an expansion of Balram, and Lord Shiva is always in meditation. And in the same meditative position, his father-in-law Daksha got hurt. Daksha Prajapati, Lord Shiva's father-in-law, Sati's father. Sati was the wife of Lord Shiva. Unfortunately, Daksha Prajapati was performing some kind of yajna, and he was present in a big conference meeting. As soon as he walked in, everybody stood up except Brahma, being his father, of course. He does not have to stand up. Lord Shiva did not stand up also. Daksha Prajapati took it in a very different way. Lord Shiva was in meditation, and he paid his obeisances not by standing up, by paying obeisances to his super soul, to Daksha Prajapati, super soul. He did it. Daksha Prajapati did not understand out of false pride. He started blaspheming Shiva like anything. And that blaspheming of the Shiva ultimately was the greatest offense to Vaishnava. And that Vaishnava offense ultimately made him leave his body. Daksha Prajapati was killed later on in the same kind of some kind of performance of yajna, but he did a great offense to the feet of Lord Shiva without understanding Shiva's position. Shiva did respect him, but in a different way, not by standing up, by paying obeisance to the super soul. Paying obeisance to the super soul of Daksha Prajapati did not understand. And big thing happened between Lord Shiva and Daksha Prajapati. Ultimately, Daksha Prajapati performed some kind of yajna. His daughter Sati was not invited. Sati insisted Lord Shiva to let her go. Lord Shiva prevented not to do so, otherwise you will be insulted, you will feel bad. Still Sati insisted to see his sisters and mother, and Lord Shiva told him that your father has no good relationship with me. He is going to insult you and you will feel bad. Still she insisted I want to go, and she left. She went. And there, when she saw yajna being made ready, there was no position, there was no place for Lord Shiva. Neither she was received nicely by her father. Of course, her mother and his sister received him out of affection. But nobody paid any attention to Lord Shiva. Nobody paid any attention to Sati. And she was very offended by not Shiva being present. The position of Shiva is not there as a part of yajna. She decided to leave her body, and by creating fire from her body, she burned his body. Sati right came from there. It was misinterpreted later on that young women were forced into the fire, but that's not. Sati created the fire from her own body and burned into. And then Shiva's associate came to know this thing. They saw, of course, in everything what's happening. So they went to Lord Shiva and informed about this. Sati is leaving the body. Shiva told Shiva was sure of this thing, something like that to happen. Lord Shiva became very angry, created some demonic structure, demon-like person, and asked him, go and destroy everything that Prajapati is doing there, a big yajna. And the whole crew of Lord Shiva's associate, Ghost and these and Vrindavan, when they came to this place, they started destroying everything. Everything was destroyed. The Bhrigu, chief, priest, and all others were deeply injured. And Daksha Prajapati was supposed to be killed, but he could not be killed by Vrindavan because he has taken the vow and he was performed the yajna, so it cannot be killed by any weapon. Only that weapon is supposed to be used, that in the sacrifice, that should be used to kill. Virabhadra figured it out, and then he took that weapon and cut off his head. Daksha Prajapati was killed. This is the result of offending Lord Shiva ultimately. Finally, everything got messed up in this yajna. totally finished. Finally, some devatas approach Brahma, please do something now, this is very bad. So Lord Brahma and the other devatas approach Lord Shiva in Kailas Dham. There is a big description of Kailas Dham in Srimad Bhagavatam, how beautiful Kailas Dham is there, how Lord Shiva is meditating there in Kailas Dham, and finally they convinced Lord Shiva to pardon them. Lord Shiva, being greatest Vaishnava, pardon everything. He came to the place of sacrifice and he made alive everybody, those who were injured. Somehow or the other, they get remedied. And Daksha Prajapati, whose head was cut off, Lord Shiva took the head of goat and put it on the body of the Daksha Prajapati, and he was made alive. And then Daksha Prajapati remembered his offense in this body. Of course, the consciousness was still there. The body is still there with the consciousness, but the head was different. Daksha Prajapati got pardon of Lord Shiva, and finally everything was settled. So, when this offense at the feet of Vaishnava is the greatest offense. Shastras mention about different kinds of offenses at the feet of Vaishnavas, and Vaishnava offense is considered to be a mad elephant offense. A mad elephant enters the garden, and what will be the situation of the garden? Garden will be totally destroyed. Everything will be uprooted, and nothing will be left in this garden. So the offense at the Vaishnava, feet of Vaishnava is like a mad elephant offense, which cannot be mitigated, which cannot be reversed at all. It's extremely difficult. And the result can be very devastating in your spiritual life also. So there are different Vaishnava offenses mentioned in Shastra. 6 types of offenses can be made at the opposite: to blaspheme, to be angry, to be this, to be that. The different offenses are mentioned in Shastra about at the feet of Vaishnavas. So one should be very careful about the offenses at the feet of Vaishnava. And it's very difficult to recognize Vaishnava. How to recognize them? Person will say, how do I recognize Vaishnava? I don't know. And I can be offensive towards somebody who I did not recognize as Vaishnava. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned that you should not be offensive towards anybody. Consider anybody to be a temple of a Vishnu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned about how to find out who is Vaishnava. He mentions in short, he mentions in short that one who reminds you of Vishnu is Vishnu. So the short definition is take, by seeing that person, if you remember Vishnu, then he is considered to be Vishnu. Simple definition, very simple. The one who reminds of you Vishnu is Vishnu, and you have to be careful. So it's better not to be offensive towards anybody. So through knowledge or without knowledge, you will not be performing any offense at anybody. So one will be careful to avoid such things, and by avoiding such things, our spiritual life will be successful. And dependence on spiritual life depends on your sadhana of this devotional service. So one has to be careful on the devotional service as we mentioned, and as we mentioned, we should be very careful about avoiding as far as possible all those offenses at the feet of anybody and everybody. So this Vaishnava Siddhanta should be understood very clearly, which is like a mad elephant offense, and one should try to avoid it. If you want to progress on the path of spiritual life, one should try to avoid this kind of offensive mentality. That's why we always see in 10 offenses, the very first offense to blaspheme the devotee who is propagating this spiritual sankirtan. One should be avoid this offensive. There are different offenses mentioned. When we chant the holy name, there are 10 offenses. One of them is to blaspheme the devotees. Because devotees, when they preach this, they are empowered by Krishna. Without the empowerment of Krishna, you cannot do anything. And with this empowerment, they are preaching. If they are preaching, then one should not blaspheme them. You should be very careful about those. So Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Srila Prabhupada,